Biden has told close aides that he has no intention of investigating Donald Trump or using the Department of Justice to prosecute Donald Trump for his abuses of power while in office. Very similar to what we heard from Obama when he got elected in 2008 and refused to prosecute the Bush administration for their war crimes. He said at the time that he wanted to move forward and not look backward. And we're getting a similar signal now from Joe Biden. According to NBC News, Biden has raised concerns that investigations could further divide a country he is trying to unite and risk making every day of his presidency about Trump, said the sources who spoke on background to offer details of private conversations. One advisor said Biden has made it clear that he just wants to move on. In fact, here's a quote. The Biden advisor also says he's going to be more oriented toward fixing the problems and moving forward than prosecuting them. His overarching view is that we need to move the country forward. Like, I don't know what kind of fantasy world Biden's living in, but I always like to go back to the QAnon people. The QAnon people aren't gonna magically go away, right? The QAnon people of today have essentially, they were Tea Party activists who devolved into a group of individuals who go around calling their political opponents pedophiles with absolutely no evidence whatsoever to try to destroy them. That's who we're talking about here. And Biden wants to unite everyone with those people and the right-wing politicians who enable those people. Not interested. And by the way, if you care about the rule of law, if you care about protecting our democratic process, which Donald Trump has worked very hard to dismantle, wouldn't you want to look into that? Wouldn't you want to investigate that? They're trying to steal the election from Biden right now as we speak. But no, we got to unify, as if that's ever going to happen. How about actually represent the best interests of the American people, right? Are you gonna pass any policy proposals that are going to fundamentally improve our lives? No, I want decency. Okay, well, you fear-mongered about a second Trump term. That was the only thing you campaigned on. So are you gonna do something about how awful Trump was and all the laws he broke? No, I wanna move forward. Then what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? It's such a waste. It's such a waste of potential. You can have a real leader in that office who actually represents the best interests of the American people. But no, that would shake things up too much. Maybe Americans would actually, have a leader who changes things for the better in this country, but we can't have that. We can't have that. Just this essentially 4 years of a lame duck president who's not gonna do anything. Great.
Okay, so look, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. This is why the Young Turks is better than any cable news show by a lot. We told you ahead of time that Biden was gonna do this. Why? Because we're geniuses? No, because we have read the news and we've been on the air here for over 18 years now. And the historical context all led to the conclusion that Biden was going to do this. The Obama-Biden administration, as soon as they got into office, said, we look forward, we don't look backwards. Well, that's a great relief to all criminals because all the crimes are in the past, not in the future. So we told you that Biden was gonna do the same thing. Now, to be fair to Biden, he ran on unity. That actually makes no sense because who are you gonna unify with? QAnon? And you say, oh, well, Cenk, that's not fair. No, 50% of the Republican Party believes that the Democratic Party is led by child molesters. 50%. And who leads the Democratic Party now? Joe Biden does. So he's like, oh, I want to unite with the people who are calling me child molester. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? That makes no sense at all. And then he says, and to be fair to him, they say, well, look, the Justice Department is going to be independent. I'm not going to control them. I'm not going to tell them to do an investigation. I'm not going to tell them not to do an investigation, but I would prefer it if we just moved on, right? And of course, the state prosecutors are independent as well. All right, well, that's fair and that's good. And I want the Justice Department to be independent. But who's going to pick the Attorney General? Joe Biden is. So when he announces publicly, now remember, whoever the Attorney General is, I don't want you investigating Trump. Now, what do you think the Attorney Generals that are applying going to tell him? Right? Or what is the message that they are receiving, even if they never have a private conversation about it? Hey, the boss doesn't want you to look into Trump. Okay, now, is it gonna work? That if he just wants to move on from Trump, that Trump will go, oh, okay, yeah, sure, let's move on. And that all the Republicans in the country will say, oh no, we don't care about Trump anymore, even though he could decide unilaterally whether we win or lose our primaries, whether we keep our power or not. He hasn't lost that power at all. 93% of Republicans voted for him, and he has an absolute deathlock on their minds. If Trump says something, all the Republican zombies goes, yes, we must support Donald Trump. We will do whatever he tells us to do, right? And so no, it's not the Republican Party, it's the Trump Party. Wakey, wakey, Joe Biden. Maybe this is the one time you are sleepy. You didn't get the memo that it's not, that the party is still run by Trump. He's not gonna go away. I don't know if you ever saw that movie, What About Bob? Okay, he's like Bob. He never goes away. He's not gone. And so this is such a wrong strategy. But most importantly, guys, it enables fascism. Why? Obama didn't hold Bush and Cheney accountable for breaking several laws, including torture. Torture is illegal under US law, not just international law, US law, let alone the warrantless wiretapping, which is a gross violation of our laws and our Constitution. So when Trump got into office, he's like, oh, they didn't hold Bush and Cheney accountable for anything, and I'm already a con man. I'm gonna break every law. And then when they finally, after pushing and pushing and pushing by progressives, Pelosi goes to impeach Trump, they didn't charge him with any of the 5 crimes he clearly committed, let alone dozens of others. But 5 that are indisputable. They're like, oh, we'll just generally impeach him. Oh, for God's sake. And then of course every Republican goes, nope, we master Trump, we agree with you. And then they acquit him. So Trump gets the memo, oh, break any law you like. So right now he's trying to break every law to try to steal this election as we speak. Biden and the Democratic Party, having learned no lessons, they're like, oh, no, Trump, don't worry, keep breaking every law. We're never gonna hold you accountable. But the nightmare scenario is that a Republican wins in 2024 and they're like, Jesus, man, after all of Trump's law breaking for him to enrich himself, to put the hush money and all of the deep and obvious criminality, the Democrats let him go. So you know what? That means I could break any law I like, including breaking democracy itself, and just take over. You know what? Democrats are never gonna do anything about it. They announce it every time they win. They shout it from the rooftops. We're gonna let the Republicans break the law. We're gonna let them break the law any way you like. And part of the reason is theoretically politics and unity and blah, blah, blah. The other reason is, hey, aren't we all in the club? The most important thing is to protect the elites inside the club. And if we go and prosecute Trump, somebody else might want to prosecute other elites, and we wouldn't want that. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, we really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.